we are going to get started with our read aloud today. So we are going to continue to work on making some inferences. So remember, an inference is a more complicated prediction. So we're not just going to be making guesses based off of just one thing that we see or read in a book. An inference is where you are making a deeper connection to the text by using what you read and what you already know about the topic to infer what is going on in the story, whether that's something that's going to happen next or something about a character. So today what we're going to do is we're going to review how to make an inference with a picture that you'll see here on the screen, and then we're going to read a poem together where we have to infer what the poem is about using clues from the text and what we already know. So I want you to take a look at this picture on the screen for a second. And I want you to start to gather some information about what you think may be happening in this picture. Now, we don't know for sure because we're not the ones there, but we can make an inference on what is going on. So I'm already taking a look and I'm going to study it. And I'm going to first start with what I see. So what I see already is I see there's a map. I see it looks like somebody has a compass or GPS maybe. I see that they're in the woods. They have backpacks on. They're hiking, it looks like, on a trail here. So I'm already getting some clues about what might be happening based on just what I see. Now, I know because I've gone hiking before that sometimes it can get a little confusing being in the woods because you're not around buildings. Sometimes trees look the same, and you can get lost in the woods if it's like super dense or you don't know where you're going. So I'm looking here and I'm already making an inference about what's going on. And so I infer that the two men are lost in the woods. That is my inference for today. Now, I have to back up my inference with some evidence from what I either read or see and based with what I know. So I'm going to say that I think they're lost because I see oops, well, let me make that box a little wider. There we go. Because the men are looking confused and referencing a map and compass. And then what do I know about this situation prior to the clues that I saw? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, because I know it is easy to get lost in the woods, right? Because it's so many trees, you don't know your way in or out, and sometimes it seems like it goes on forever. So I infer that the two men are lost in the woods because I see the two men are looking confused and referencing a map and compass, and I know it's easy to get lost in the woods. So that is how I would make an inference for this picture. So now we're going to pull up a poem together and do the same thing but using evidence from the text instead of a picture. All right, so here is our poem for today. Now you're going to notice that the poem does not have a title. It's because this poem is titled Nothing until we're done reading it. As I read it, I'm going to be thinking about what are some clues that I read that help me think about what this could be about. Okay, so I'll read it one time through, my two stanzas, one time through, okay? A small speckled visitor wearing a crimson cape, brighter than a cherry, smaller than a grape. A polka-dotted someone walking on my wall, a black hooded lady in a scarlet shawl. Heard some interesting words. So before we read it again and think about clues, let's go through some of these vocabulary words. So the first one I heard was crimson. So this is like another color for red. Just like the word scarlet that I heard down here, both of those are different shades of the color red. And then the word shawl is almost like a scarf, but you might wear it over your shoulders to cover your shoulders and your back. So now as I read it again, I'm going to start to pull out some pieces of evidence or clues that I can write down over on this side. So it says, a small speckled visitor wearing a crimson cape, that means a red cape, brighter than a cherry, smaller than a grape. A polka-dotted someone walking on my wall. Oh, I'm starting to get what this might be about. I'm going to underline polka dotted because that gave me a really big clue about what this might be about. And Then I'm going to underline walking on my wall. Now I think I have an idea. And to go along with that, one second, I don't like that it bends. There we go. A black hooded lady, another clue, in a scarlet, remember that means red, shawl. So already I'm getting some great pieces of evidence that I can add over on this side of my paper today. So I heard polka dotted, I heard the word lady, I heard that this creature walks on your wall. I also heard, and I'm going to go back and underline, that is smaller than a grape. So whatever this is pretty small, right? Because it can walk on your wall. Now that I have some pieces of evidence, I'm going to come down here to the bottom where it says, I'm inferring. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I infer, but I bet you already have an idea of what this poem is about. So I'm going to say, I'm inferring this poem is about a ladybug. Is that what you guys were thinking too? I heard some clues to help me figure that out. Because I know and because I read. So I'm going to start with because I read. So I read that, oops, and this is where you use your clues that you found over here. Because I read, why is it not working? A ladybug walks on your wall and is polka dotted. And what I already know about ladybugs is that they live in your house and are small. So I'm inferring this poem is about a ladybug because I know they live in your house and are small, and I read ladybugs walk on your wall and it is polka dotted. So what you're going to do is you are going to head to Seesaw. You have another inference poem in there that I've read to you. So you don't know what it's about until you make that inference. And I can even come right up here and put my title, Ladybug. And you're going to listen to the poem as I read it. You can underline clues and write your clues out and then finish the inference statement at the bottom to infer what our poem is, okay? So head over to Seesaw and get started. Thanks, first grade.